everybody? Vic here as usual, because you're on this channel, so you'll see me. Anyways, like I mentioned in the post yesterday, the Akai Professional MPC LAV 3 Standalone Music Production Center is finally out, which, I mean, when all their other ones in the SE was getting called discontinued, the LAV 2 was called getting discontinued, along with going on that massive sale where the SE was, I think it was like originally $2,500, and it went down to $1,800 alone. They said, oh, you also get all our software. Yeah, we knew this was in the works, but it's out today. And the price right here is $1,699, so $1,700, which before, okay, I had to find a more archival listing, but the LAV 2 here, at least according to American Musical Supply, was originally $1,299, so $1,300, and then now the new one is essentially $1,700, so a $400 price increase, but it was still cheaper than that special edition, both on sale and new one. I mean, well, like the original special edition before it went on sale. Now, let's go over some of the things, and this isn't going to be like a giant complete rundown just because, so like the shortest rundown I found of all the things was literally like 45 minutes. They added a lot. My experience with the MPC stuff, I have a MPC 1 Plus because it came with a bundle of a bunch of other stuff I wanted. So I got a bunch of things, and they're like, hey, you want this 1 Plus too? I'm like, okay, man. And then I didn't like version 2 of their software, but version 3 actually improved a lot, and this is like version 3 plus finished whatever. But they definitely have done a lot of improvements on the DAW software itself if you want to go technically DAW-less, because you're not in a DAW, even though it's a lot like a DAW in the box now. So anyways, going over it, it's got slightly bigger than what it was before, which actually now, because I have a picture of the old one, you can see the old one was saying like here, little knobs, not much, the little speaker on the bottom here, your pads, and then little settings controls in the spinner and screen. And then going here for the new one, now they have a fader strip, the volume, the same speaker, but it's slightly bigger because it's longer. These are now MPE enabled pads, which one thing I do want to mention about it, which is actually pretty cool, they showed in one of the videos, which I'm going to leave the videos I watch. I'll leave Sweetwater's video, because the guy who actually works for Akai showed off all the new features, and it's a long video. But the coolest thing I saw about that for these new pads is he showed for drum kits. So even though it's a 4x4 grid, what is really cool about it, even though 16 pads, is actually more like 64, because the way you can set up the drum kits now is like each pad, like the top left, the top right, the top left, the bottom left, and the bottom right would control one individual like drum hit. So you can do like 4 kicks here, 4 snare types here, 4 hi-hat types here. So that's really cool. Even though it's like, okay, with my giant fingers, I'll probably just end up hitting more than once at the same time. But hey, I like that technology. That's a very cool technology. I would like them to just, if I just want like another Launchpad style controller, just give me a 64 grid of these super pads. I don't even need all this. Just give me a nice little controller with all these new MPE enabled things here, and that'll be like really cool, at least in my opinion. Moving on to the other things, they also added a 16-step sequencer up here, which also you can see they all have different shift functions under it, and then nicer screen, all touchscreen enabled, which they also saw they have like a clip launcher now within it, which is more like if you ever use Ableton Live, where they just have the clips to launch by, along with like they're really going for the live part here. And then also all your extra controls down here, and it's a fully touch screen enabled screen, and they said everything is mappable and configurable. Now, going on to some of the other things they had here, because I'm just going to go. It also has a rechargeable battery, sampler, speakers, tons of effects, USB-C audio, and MIDI interface, which is actually really cool because they said you can get up to 32 things through the USB, just multi-tracked out to a DAW, which I'm like, that is a lot over USB, but it's all that USB-C stuff, and they've been working on this quite a minute. So let's just scroll down to, and yeah, I'll leave this link too so everyone can read about it. Let's just go down to the quick features here, just so I don't drag on the video too long, because like I said before, this isn't going to be a massive rundown, just simply because I find it easier to watch rundowns like that if someone has the thing actually in front of them and can demonstrate them, which is why I'm going to leave the videos in the description. This is just purely reading out the things quickly so y'all can be informed. So just going on, it just starts with next gen. Yeah, it's going to be state-of-the-art MPC performance pads utilize advanced 3D sensing technology to maximize expressivity and playback possibilities, which, yeah, those pads are really cool. I would really like to see those just on a controller by itself, which is, I know they make the, I think it's called the APC 64 was their competitor to the Novation launch pad. I would like them to make like an APC 64-2 or whatever they want to call it with those new style of pads. Because I'm telling you, when you watch the video, if you do, I'm telling you, those pads seem like really cool. And that's just me, though. I like MPE-enabled stuff because some of my synths and other instruments can use MPE. So I do like having little extra MPE controllers to feed into things like that, at least in my opinion, especially if you're working with a lot more desktop things just because you don't have space. So then you need a separate controller. I always like little extra things like that just so I have more availability to do things. And then, of course, like they said here, the performance touch strip, RGB backlighting, which I always like colors. And then they also talk about this super, like, touchscreen mode where when I was watching it, it reminded me of sort of the old Korg K oscillators, which I wish Korg never discontinued. Same with like how Roland discontinued that Aria TB3. I always like those screens of all the stuff floating around where you can go and tap them and have fun with stuff like that. But most of them got discontinued. I think Korg still has the, what's their thing called? I think it's called the Chaos Replay. It's just a sampler. Just, come on, Korg. Bring back like the K oscillator and all those things so I can go and just like to mess around with music just by literally petting the sound, you know. that'll be fun just to get more like that. And that's just me. I know I'm older. I just like the little more expressivity of music, just having fun like that, which is why I like MPE stuff. So then, oh yeah, right here, which I do like how they mentioned the detailed dedicated function for 16-step sequencer, let you stay hands-off in composition and performance processes. No menu diving needed. Now, there's one thing I've noticed a lot with the MPC Live 3 software improvements, and especially how much they put into this one now. They're trying to get less menu divey and more easy DAW in the box. Sort of like I said, a lot, especially like right here, where it says the clip launching matrix. It literally looks like an Ableton Live clip launcher. Like, I can actually just show you because I'm recording my audio through Ableton. So, like, you have your normal just audio here, but then if you tab over, like one of these, just a normal clip launching where you can set this to, like, I use an APC 40 or anything like that, and you just go and press your pads or launch your clips for live performance. Pretty nice. So, yeah, like I said, they're really going for the live performance part. And one of the biggest things they're doing, okay, right here, the 8-core engine, 8 gigabytes of RAM, gives 4x the processing power of the previous Live for massively expanded workflow, which is true, because before, I believe, it was like 2 cores and 2 gigs of RAM. So when using it a lot, you were limited to, I think, like 8 or so instruments, because eventually you would just start chewing up, especially now because they import all those native instruments ones to it, and those really eat up some processing power. But now they expanded it out, and now they said in the video you can get like 32 software instruments running at the same time, which is, I mean, that's really cool. And then they also talk about like all the exclusive things they add here for like stem separation, which I saw that was sort of like when they sample a bit in the video for Sweetwater, they had the normal separation that you would see in stems where like so I have like a Pioneer FLX 10 controller, and in the record box you can separate like your vocals, backing tracks, drums, stuff like that. So they have that stem style software. I'm not saying it's Pioneers, obviously, but they have that style software inside of it. And then this is really nice, 128 gigabytes of onboard storage. And then you can also do another SD card reader and USB-A ports just to go and add more. But 120 gigs, that's a lot. And then built-in studio monitors, and they actually have a microphone, which is another thing. The video they live sampled by the guy, brushed a plant and used it as a shaker, sampling into the actual MPC live. I thought that was really cool. I can't tell how good the speakers will be because I'm usually using headphones, and then obviously if you're going to just play this, you're going to route it out to bigger monitors so more people can hear it. But it's nice to have a little speaker on if you don't feel like having headphones on the whole time. And then Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connections with Ableton Link and all that. Yeah, the last ones had that. That's just, I never really mess with it as much just because when I'm using it and recording now, I'm speaking towards my OnePlus, obviously. I can get the usefulness of Wi-Fi to actually help for updates, but I like the more certainty of cables at times, just because my internet is bad. It takes me forever to do anything here, and I know that's not that's just me. That's not for everybody. That's just a me gripe there. Okay, yeah, they have the 4 Q-Link knobs, which are those little spinners up there, and direct sampling via USB-C means your iPhone is always ready, which, yeah, he sampled a song directly from his iPhone by plugging it in with a cable. And then it has the HCV and gate outputs, which is really cool for just connecting everything and playing out. And then all the I/O being 2 in, 2 out, 5-pin MIDI ports, 2 dual XLR TRS combo input jacks, 6 audio outputs, RCA stereo in, 2 USB-A ports, and a class-compliant USB-C connection, which I mentioned they can do a lot over that now. And then they have dedicated Ableton Live control mode because Akai does like Ableton Live, which, if you watch the videos, you can tell. And then USB-C port, yeah, this is what I was talking about. That works as I/O mini interface with 24 and 32 bidirectional channels of each respectively. So just for audio, you get 32, and for MIDI, you get, audio 24, 32 for MIDI. And then multi-MIDI functionality means you can have up to 32 distinct MIDI devices all connected and controlled by your MPC at once. So you would need, I'll have that much. You would either go through like a bunch of things that can do a USB MIDI and then use that as the hub, or you would need one of those giant MIDI splitters. And following that, rechargeable battery support 4 hours of full powered use, which, cool. Battery powered stuff is good, but then I hope you can replace that, just because I know batteries, even rechargeable ones, will eventually die. But at the same time, I usually just keep my stuff plugged in. So going back up so we can go over the, where's the thing? There's the actual back so we can see more of that. So as said, there's the headphones. You can turn the speaker on and off. The main, and then the outs, your audio in, which is nice to have all that. And then your normal CVs, SD card slot, your MIDIs, your USBs, and the power. And then, of course, on the front, it's just, the sides are just the sides. The back is still the back. And I'm going to hope that, like I said, I hope you can replace the battery. Like I said, I don't have a live one. So I'm not sure if you can, but I'm going to assume, or at least, like I said, I'm not going to assume, I'm going to hope that you can. And then, big speaker, the new pads, all the stuff up there, the new screens, and all that. So, overall, it's just like, this is just reporting the news here. I'm not sure if I would get it, personally, because, I mean, I can see the use of this. This is a beautiful system. I like my OnePlus, but at the same time, I don't use it as much because I'd rather just record straight into a mixer and then kind of work from there. I am looking for a more portable mixer for a lot of things. And if this can control a lot of sequence a lot, I might look into it more just to try and get a more portable setup, because right now I'm carrying around a lot of rack-mounted equipment, plugging all that in, and it is sort of a pain. So I am looking for like a smaller mixer. But I do like all the stuff it does. But it's very, what would be the word? Very software adjacent, where it talks about all its VSTs and software instruments. So like, yeah, it's powerful. And if like, okay, I just want one huge production center all in one, then yeah, if you're really software, like I said, it's a DAW in a box. it's a DAW-less DAW, technically. So like, for me, I'm split. I might get it, or I might wait for the special edition just to get an even bigger one, just so I can say I just don't want to trade my giant screen I have here for tinier screen but portable. I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. I don't hate it, but I don't know if it's for me personally. That's just my opinion, because like I said, I play with a lot of instruments themselves. I have a lot of instruments, so I use a mixer and just master mixes down and just direct out to monitors usually. But for other people who just want a super, like, everything style station, like, this isn't just sampled to hip-hop or anything like that. You can do synthwave, electronic, all kinds of stuff with it, especially with how expanded the functionality is now and how much more you can fit into it, so it's not just a sampler, which they have done a lot of improvements over the previous generations, especially with the upper limits of how many things you can throw out now. But yeah, I'm not going to ramble anymore. This is just more reporting the news, but thanks for watching. I appreciate everyone coming in and just seeing me report the news. And like I said, I will link the other videos and this Sweetwater page in the description so more people can read about it. I'm not affiliated, so I don't get paid for anything. So you can just go and look if you feel like it. But again, just reporting the news. So leave a comment if you have anything, because I want to hear like your thoughts on this too. Just because, like I said, I want to see what other people think about it. I'm on the fence about it for me, just for my personal case use, but I can understand a lot of people might like it more or might need it more, but we'll see. I'm sure this would sell like hotcakes, because I know people who really love the MPC workflow. And like I said, I don't hate it. I just don't think it's for me, because I don't need a bunch of extra technical VSTs and software. But if anything, I might just get it just for a really good sequencer. But then I have all my Electron boxes and all that, so who knows. Anyways, so like and subscribe, because that does help grow the channel, and all of them are appreciated. So again, this has been Vic. Thanks for watching. Bye.